Hey everyone, this is Andre from Chatterbox. Just want to check in real quick there with everyone and share something that I've been exchanging with a colleague and friend of mine back in Panama, where I'm from. Um, since I'm living here in the United States and the political climate is front and center in everybody's mind, she shared with me a graphic of how polarized the votes are. And even though it's showing a slight lead in the electoral votes for Biden, it's very close or a lot closer than what a lot of people expected. People who, of course, believed in the polls and weren't getting a real sense or grasp of what the national environment was coming into these elections. So, to what she posted, I made the following comment. Now, I translated this from Spanish to English, so pardon me if something sounds kind of off, but what I commented was, and this was based on an exchange that we had yesterday where we exchanged a few words and it probably came out like really cut and dry. So she may have thought that I was in a bad mood, but I wasn't. And I said, last night wasn't anger, it was disappointment. Not surprise, but disappointment. I am always hopeful for the best possible outcome. But despite my ignorance in socio-political issues, I try to listen to the people and observe human behavior. I don't mean to intentionally ruffle any feathers when I say people's votes are overwhelmingly emotional. And if 40% of the country is suffering, we cannot expect an overwhelmingly positive result from people whose minds and hearts are overcome by stress, anxiety, nervousness, hunger, health problems, and few to no avenues to address those issues, at risk of being homeless, at risk of losing the little stability and wealth that they were starting to build. And most of those who propose to take the task of presidential leadership rather pledge loyalty to financial interests and engage in an ambiguous people-pleasing posture than that then translate into not standing decisively for anything. And as a result, people end up not trusting you. And all this in a time when people need concrete and bold solution to their life-threatening problems. Even if Biden wins, the country will be hopelessly divided. And if Trump wins, a clear half of the country will be hopelessly demoralized. And I got to get back to work, but I just wanted to share this message because I feel that going forward it's important, no matter what happens. We need to take a real honest look at where we are at a country, what brought us here. We can no longer blame the small group of progressives for voting third party or not showing up to vote for Hillary. Cannot blame Hillary emails anymore. We cannot blame misogyny for Hillary being a woman and people not just not wanting to vote for a woman. We cannot blame the black vote or Latinos and other minorities not showing up because they clearly have in droves and overwhelmingly. I mean, the presence has been without dispute, and I am sure that the popular vote will nonetheless prove that. We need to take a deeper look as to what is causing these divides and not just brush it off on racism and bigotry and xenophobia and misogyny and homophobia and all of these other clearly negative things that do have a place in the way people vote. We need to take a deeper look as to what has brought on this sentiment, what has brought on this resentment. And I want us to add to that equation that people are making their voice clear that if we cannot agree on all these other very conflictive matters like misogyny, xenophobia, homophobia, people are angry. People are angry at something. And unfortunately, people like Donald Trump know exactly how to harness that anger and point it at each other, how have us point the fingers at the others when we're all literally kind of like in the same boat, trying to make a buck, trying to pay our bills, trying to live, right? So we are not the enemy of each other. The clear enemy here, and this is not my personal, this is of course also my personal perspective, but not only that. This has been proven by sociologists, economists. If you keep driving wealth and concentrate in the hands of very few people, leaving 40% of the country to fend for itself, you cannot expect those people to trust you after you have created those conditions that they're now struggling with. You cannot be angry for them not showing up in droves for you. And if someone comes in and promises them something I concluded this morning when I was walking my dog is that you don't necessarily even have to do it. All you need to say is boldly state that you are uh, dedicated to providing those results, even if you don't provide them. You just have to boldly claim that you will do it and say, oh, well, if I haven't done it, it's because this got in my way and that got in my way. That will wear off. But in the meantime, that will get you a win, right? So I'm not vouching for anyone being disingenuous or lying about what they're proposing, but boldness and courage. People are attracted to that, especially in this country. People don't like wishy-washiness. People don't like not knowing where you stand. People they don't respect you. So even if you promise that you're going to give everybody health care and you don't, which is what Trump did, and has not delivered, but people still believe him. Even if you promise you're going to bring coal miner jobs back and you haven't, but people still believe him because he was unequivocal and has been unequivocal on those promises. Right? So people would apparently, by the results we're seeing, would more, and sadly so, but it apparently is how human nature seems to be, at least in this country. People will throw their weight around for someone who boldly and decisively is advocating for these things that affect their lives, even though they don't have a plan, even though they don't have a clear path of how to bring it forward, how to bring it to fruition. That being said, why had every statistic said that the person that could actually measure up to him was Bernie Sanders? Precisely because even as Biden was running, he was on national TV saying that he was going to run his own platform if Biden got in, dismissing everything Biden said. Something bold, something courageous, and something decisive. And that's why he was the one to challenge Donald Trump. Donald Trump in a private meeting even said the only one of all of them that he feared was Bernie Sanders, and I quote, because he has a movement. So I'm gonna just leave it there, let that sink in, and please share your comments below. So it's just a quickie. Thank you for joining us as always, and we just gotta keep on keeping on no matter what happens, because obviously brunch is canceled, and no matter who wins, it is obvious that we have a lot of work to do. Take care, stay safe, and catch you guys later.